Hey guys, and welcome back to the show. I am your host, Megan Hardy, and I'm the founder of Fitness Uncharted, which is my fitness and nutrition coaching company that I designed for women who want to build muscle, lose fat, optimize your metabolism, and have complete food freedom. And today we are talking about all things snacks, all the snacky foods, all the good things. Anything on the go, grab and go foods, healthy snacks, my go-tos. We're going to talk all about that because I've gotten several requests recently from people like, hey, I love that you're showing some of the foods you're eating. Can you show me more or can you tell me more about what you eat? And I just want to put a disclaimer out there. This is not a what I eat in a day. Okay. All of us have different nutritional needs, but there are a lot of go to healthy foods that make it really simple and easy for me to eat healthy on the go. So I'm going to share some of those with you today. Hopefully, this is helpful. And I first want to start out by saying, anything can be a quote unquote on the go food. Okay. If you put it in a Ziploc bag or you put it in a container, whether that's a plastic or a glass container, it can be an on the go food. Okay. So, really, that's the end of the episode right here because really anything could be quote unquote on the go. All you need to do is throw it in a piece of Tupperware. I like glass containers personally, for avoiding the plastic and because I think they're better reheated. Obviously, you can't heat food in a plastic container, but also it doesn't get that like funky fridge microwave nasty taste when you put it in glass containers. So anyway, that's my go-to. But whatever your preference, if you put it in a container and they can become an on the go food, right? So leftovers are an amazing thing. That's a quote unquote healthy snack or on the go food. It's great. But I will share some of my go to protein sources. I feel like that's the thing that usually is lacking the most because when people think of snacks, they're grabbing things like granola bars or like maybe a piece of fruit. But whatever that is, it's usually like a carb snack or carby source, right? Like chips or crackers or whatever. So a lot of times protein can feel hard to hit when we are on the go and, we're trying to eat healthy. Sometimes we're like, oh my gosh, even if I'm eating healthy, like maybe you are grabbing healthy snack options like fruits and vegetables and whatever, but you're just lacking in the protein department. So I'm going to share with you some of my go-tos, and I'll jump right into that. So first and foremost, boiled eggs. We have like a running joke with anyone who is around me for more than like a day because they'll be like, wow, you eat a lot of boiled eggs. And I'm like, yep, sure do. It's really easy. So currently, I'm still at the NICU, in the neonatal ICU with my baby. And we've been there for like the time of recording this, we've been there for close to 80 days. So the nurses have seen me eat lots of boiled eggs. And they're always like, I always know you're here when I see your boiled eggs. But they're such an amazing protein source, actually, a great protein and fat source, and such a great bioavailable protein. So they're an amazing option and literally so easy. So I always recommend boiling them the night before. Don't wait until the day of because then it's not really on the go food. Boil them the night before and then also pre crack them. So I am blessed to say that usually Justin will do that for me. So I don't even have to crack my own boiled eggs. I know I'm a princess. Um, I do a lot of things around here though, you guys. Okay. Let's just say I'm very self-sufficient, but he is my king over here who does a lot of things for me, like the dishes. But anyway, he also typically cracks our boiled eggs for us. So, but do that the night before or before you have to be on the go. I personally like to do this so that I can eat them in the car easily. I can eat them wherever I am. If I'm at like a sporting event or, a kid's practice or whatever, you can easily just go ahead and plop those boiled eggs in your mouth and you don't even have to crack them. Because I feel like that's probably the more awkward part when you're around people is cracking your boiled eggs. Like if you're at your kid's soccer game, right? I'd still do it. Honestly, I wouldn't really care. But go ahead and pre-crack the eggs, and they are simply an on-the-go amazing protein source. Also, you could do cooked eggs or an omelet in a glass container. This is another really great example of any food can be an on the go food. So, I do this often. I will actually, especially with going to the NICU every morning, I sometimes do this where, and especially when I was corporate as well, when I worked a corporate job, I did this literally every morning. I would cook an egg white omelet and put like Greek yogurt or whatever else on top, salsa, whatever, and I would put it all in a glass container and I would literally eat it on my way to work in the car to save myself that time. So I would put the eggs on while I was getting ready, literally would be like bustling about, getting myself ready, flip the egg omelet over, finish getting ready, and then put it in a glass container and bring it on the go with me. It's so simple. And that's what I mean when I say any food can be quote unquote on the go food. So if you're someone who's like, oh, I get so tired of eggs, like, okay, cook them a different way. Do fried eggs, do scrambled eggs, do an omelet, do boiled eggs, whatever. They're such a great on the go protein source. I also do a lot of ground beef or ground chicken. This is a really big staple, especially again with being gone all day, whether you are at work or traveling or whatever. Have ground beef or ground chicken just in a container. I seriously bring that and just pair it with some other carb and fat source. And there you go. You have a mini meal. You have a snack, right? So you can do, I just prefer ground meats because I think they reheat really well without like a funky texture. And then they also, I also am a weirdo and I like to eat ground beef or ground chicken cold, so I don't even have to reheat it. So that's a great option, but also any other, pre-cooked meat is a great option as well, whether you prefer chicken breasts or chicken thighs or, or salmon or some kind of fish, whatever. Just pre-cook it and then bring it on the go with you. So again, easy on the go food is just normal food. Also, pulled rotisserie chicken. So, we've been doing this some at the NICU. Justin, for example, just got a rotisserie chicken from Costco yesterday, and we had literally a bag full of pulled rotisserie chicken in a Ziploc baggie that we were munching on throughout the day. So, that's really easy. I know rotisserie chicken is not like highest on the totem pole for like cleanliness as far as ingredients because they do pump it with some stuff oftentimes, but it's an option and it's like okay, if you're debating about rotisserie chicken versus like, oh, I don't know, McDonald's, okay, your rotisserie chicken is going to be just fine, you guys, right? So again, it's all on a sliding scale. But rotisserie chicken is something for me I don't usually use as a staple, but it is an easy on the go meat that you don't have to prep yourself. Another really easy thing you could do is if you're not don't want to go the rotisserie chicken route or, pre-cook your meat, you still have to cook it, but put it in an instant pot. And you can literally throw a bunch of chicken breast in an instant pot, throw a can of salsa in there, turn it on high pressure for however long. And then once it's done, shred it up with a fork and knife. And then you have your pulled chicken. And you can put that in glass containers or whatever and bring that on the go with you. It is so simple. Another protein source is a can of tuna. Super easy, super high protein, low calorie. It gets you some tuna in your life. That is super easy. You could either, decan it and drain it and put it in a glass container at home, or you could literally bring it with you wherever you're going, as long as you have a sink available and a can opener. Or if you have the cans or bags of tuna that you don't need a can opener, literally crack it open and then pour the liquid out, or get the like bagged, what are they called? I forget the brand is, but the bags of tuna that are kind of the flavored tuna. Those are really easy, quick go-to grabs as well. Another is Greek yogurt or cottage cheese. So two of the favorite brands that I like to bring are Ratio or Oikos. Those two brands are some of the higher protein options. So Ratio especially is like very high protein. It is a little bit higher calorie though to allow for the higher protein content, but they are super creamy and delicious. I love Ratio proteins. And then Justin always does the Oikos protein, Greek yogurts. And then, of course, what a lot of people think of when they think on the go food for protein is protein powder. That is an option to bring along with you. All you need is your Ziploc of protein powder, a shaker cup, and then fill up your water somewhere. Add the two together. I also sometimes will do protein bars, but I really try to limit or not have them as a daily staple. I just find that a lot of them have more additives in it than I really care to have. Or And or they also have just based off of what ingredients are in there, oftentimes they have a ton of fiber, and just that much fiber in one sitting can cause like some GI upset for a lot of people. Like in the past, I've made a mistake of eating, I think it was Quest bars, but which also aren't the best clean ingredients for you. But again, when you're picking between, oh, I don't know, a Quest bar or like airport food, a Quest bar isn't so bad, right? But I think I had like two of them one time on a flight, and my stomach was in knots because the so much fiber. I think one Quest bar has like, I don't know, 12 grams of fiber or something crazy like that. So it was, or even more, I don't know, but it was a ton of fiber in one sitting. For example, women should get at least like 25 grams of fiber per day, and I was getting all that fiber in like these two Quest bars. So it was very upsetting for my tummy. So anyway, I don't like to do protein bars as a daily staple, but I do use them as needed, kind of PRN for any of my nurses out there. Or like if I'm traveling, that's a staple I will bring with me. And even like at the NICU right now, I have a box of protein bars. They're plant-based since I have to be dairy free right now. But I have them in my cabinet at the NICU in our room just in case I'm go through all of my meals and snacks for the day and I'm running short. I can at least know I have like a protein bar available that I could eat, right? So those can come in handy. Another thing for a great on the go protein source is to make a protein and fruit smoothie. I used to do this all the time when I was corporate. I actually don't do many smoothies anymore. I don't know why. I just kind of go in and out of phases of caring to make a whole smoothie, but I would just do frozen strawberries or a frozen berry mixture, and then a scoop or two of protein powder, like one or two scoops, and then almond milk and what else would I put in there? I think just cinnamon. I think that was it. It's delicious. I would make it to the consistency that I like. I like mine a little bit thicker and a little creamier. And then I would actually make them literally the night before my workday started, and I would pour them into thermal containers, like thermal on the go cups, and that way they they would stay cold, super super cold in the fridge. And then I would literally bring that with me and eat it on the way to work, or even wait until I got to work and eat it, and it was still tasted really good to me. So find your sweet spot on that so that it doesn't like go bad, but you could literally bring it with you in a thermal container of some sort to keep it really cold and eat it later in the day. Or you could just literally bring it and eat it in the car with you, right? So that's a really easy one to get your protein and fruit and fiber in. Add you some spinach in there, get you some more greens and fiber content. So those are some go-to protein sources. Another good one that you could do is like the beef jerky bars, or like beef jerky sticks. I don't typically do a lot of them myself, but if you are eating them, I know Coach Jordan, who works with us, she in the Fit You, she does some of these, and you just want to look for nitrate and nitrite free. So you want to look for like the grass fed, nitrate and nitrite free beef sticks if you are going to purchase those. So those are some protein sources. Guys, for those of you that are like, this is so hard to hit my protein on the go or with snacks or whatever, it's really not. Like a lot of these things don't even need to be refrigerated, or at least if you're going to eat them earlier in the day, you may not even need a cooler or anything. But then secondly, just bring along a cooler. I literally do that everywhere I go if I'm going to be gone more than like 6 hours. I just have a cooler in the car with me with my snacks, anything that needs to be put in there, like the Greek yogurt or whatever. So do that and you'll easily hit your protein, even when you're on the go, even when you are quote unquote snacking. And then let's talk really quick about some other snack foods that are not protein sources. So I'm gonna combine both carbs and fats, and these are just some of my go-tos. So this is by no means an exhaustive list. It's just some of my main go-tos. So recently I've been doing a lot of either mashed avocado or guacamole cups. So that's going to be a great source of fats. Costco has these. You can buy a box of them, and they're individual servings of guacamole. It's delicious, and I don't have to make it. I can just grab and go. And then also the Siete chips. They're gluten-free chips. They are also really good. They're made with like avocado oil. Delicious. I'll put, obviously use those with my guacamole cups. And then I'll also pair that with some of my ground beef. And right there, you guys, I have a full on meal. I have my protein, fat, and carb source, right? I could If I was really being good, I could add some veggies in there somehow, like some cut up carrots or cucumbers or something like that, right? But that's a meal. That's like a mini meal, right? That's a go-to for me. Also, cheese strings. You're going to get a little bit of protein, a little bit of fat. Fruit. So that fruit is an amazing on-the-go, easy snack. I usually do apples, bananas, or berries. Typically like blueberries or strawberries or raspberries, and then I'll randomly throw in other fruits like pineapple or peaches or you know, I don't know, whatever I'm feeling. I typically, if I'm going to cut something up, it's going to be a pineapple. But you could literally do this without even having to cut fruit up. If you grab like apples or bananas or berries, you don't even have to cut things up. Or if you are, grabbing something like pineapple, for instance, then just again cut it up in advance so you have it ready to go. And then again, like things like pears and peaches, you don't even have to cut up. Just bring it with you. It's so easy. And then also nuts and seeds. So those are an easy one as well. You could do like a trail mix, but I typically avoid trail mix because I do not ration myself very well. I think I said that correctly. Justin always makes fun of me because I usually say ration, but I always forget which one it is, ration or ration. Anyway, I eat a lot of trail mix when I have trail mix in front of me. So it's kind of dangerous. Especially, God forbid, it has chocolate chips in it. Then yeah, or M&Ms. Nope, I can't have that kind because I will eat the whole bag. That sweet and salty is just so good. But anyway, nuts and seeds are great. Just watch out again for your portion sizes. So just because something is healthy does not mean it's low calorie, and we don't need to go low calorie, but you do need to be aware of how quickly the calories add up. So like a tiny little palm serving of nuts and seeds is a hefty chunk of calories. So do watch out for that, but they are a great fat source. And then rice cakes, those are a quick, easy one. I haven't actually been doing them as much recently. I used to do them a lot as a snack staple, but rice cakes, you can find cleaner versions that are very minimal ingredients, and you can find yummier, not as clean versions. I eat both. So anyway, rice cakes, you can do that with or without almond butter on top or whatever toppings you really want on there. If you want to make it more like sweet or more savory, you can dress a rice cake up or you can eat it bare naked. So rice cakes are a great carb option when you're on the go. Easy to grab the sleeve of rice cakes to have on hand. Pair that with one of your protein sources and you're golden. Or sourdough bread. I know that's the whole craze right now. Literally, you guys, again, I just come back to the fact that anything can be a quote unquote on the go food. Like literally, you could slice up some sourdough and put that in a Ziploc and bring it with you. And now, guess what? You have your on the go carb snack, right? So, and literally, we actually like we will bring boiled eggs and fruit on the plane with us when we're traveling somewhere. Like we are those people busting out our boiled eggs in a Ziploc bag on the flight. So, anything can be an on the go food. And like I said, this was not an exhaustive list. I am sure there are many more items I'm missing that I'm not even thinking of. I'm sure after this episode, I'm going to be like, oh, shoot, I should have mentioned this, and this. But anyway, even with this list, you can create dozens of combinations. So don't use the excuse, I just get so bored eating eggs, or I just get so bored eating chicken or whatever. Like, okay, if you're bored with it, find different ways to prepare it. There's so many different ways to prepare eggs or prepare chicken, so many different flavor profiles you can use, or combine it with different carb and fat sources to make it feel fresh. So, like, literally, that whole list of protein items I just gave you, pick one of those and pair it with one or two of the carb and fat items that I just listed and mix and match those, right? Like it doesn't have to be a structured specific meal. You really just want to look at, do I have a protein, carb, and a fat source? That's it. So, and oftentimes a little trick too is if you have a protein source, you probably have a fat source in there naturally. For example, boiled eggs, you're going to get protein and fat in there. A lot of protein and fat sources also have, or a lot of protein sources also have a little bit of fat. So most meat sources have some fat in there, right? You could go like even with a super lean meat, you're still going to get a little bit of fat content. Obviously, the less lean meat, you're going to have more fat content. But a lot of your protein sources are going to have that. So if you even just think of like, okay, what's my protein source and what's my carb source? You're probably going to get some fats in there as well. Not to mention whatever cooking oils you're using. If you're using coconut oil or avocado oil or butter or whatever to cook your food in, then you're already hitting your fats. But just mix and match. Make sure you have a protein, fat, and carb source at each snack and stop overcomplicating healthy snacks. Okay. A snack is literally just a mini meal. And one of my favorites, actually, one of my favorite things to do is to use leftovers from dinner the night before and make that a quote unquote snack because it's just a mini meal and I don't even have to think about it. I know I'm going to have a well rounded, balanced meal from dinner that can turn into a snack the next day. It's the best and it's super easy. So, that is it for today. Short and sweet for you, a podcast snack, if you will. And as always, if you have questions or requests for future episodes, feel free to shoot me a DM on social media. And if you'd like to work with our team one on one, then you can book a call with me and we can chat more about coaching. Other than that, good morning or good night, whatever time you're listening to this episode. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.